Okay, alright.
What is it for you? Like 7 o'clock in the morning?
It's 7:48 in the morning.
Yeah, like I feel like the that time our time zones are. This is a hard one to connect on, like the Australian one, because your day is starting before like.
Yeah, so I was looking at the time zones. I was wondering when I was booking it because I either had really late at night, which actually works as well because I'm always up late, or early in the morning. And I thought, depends what happens in the day, so it might be best if I just book it in the morning, and therefore nothing can have happened.
So, okay. So I'm really excited to talk to you because, I mean, the whole team has been a big fan of yours. And anybody that's kind of listening, if you're, she runs Type Heist. She's also got another illustrative project called Haunts. So I just kind of want to, so your day to day, so you're going to go, so this is actually, those are some side hustles, but you have a 9 to 5 right now. And what do you do in your 9 to 5?
So I'm a product designer, so like a UI UX designer, and basically run off there and design software for an insurance company, which sounds really boring, but I really enjoy it.
Is it an insurance company in Australia?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sort of like a challenger brand.
Oh, okay, gotcha. And so have you seems like from afar you've always been into design, but is what do you most like? You've got font design, you've got illustrative design, you got product design. What's your favorite? What's your go-to?
Oh, it kind of depends. Like, the whole designer thing where you just lock onto a project and then that's what you do for the next few months. I mean, I don't know if anyone else is different, but that's definitely what I do.
Yeah.
So went through a whole, realistic, like realism drawing. I wouldn't say phase. I did it for a while and I really enjoyed it, but it kind of got to the point where people were asking for commissions, which was really good. But then it stopped being a hobby and kind of turned into another job, which I didn't necessarily want because it took, 40 hours for each drawing.
Wow.
So then I kind of thought, well, that's a bit much when I still enjoy my main job. And then, got into the, say easier illustration, but it was a bit more fun. And then, kind of got into fonts, which I'm, really enjoying at the moment. And it's got a really nice balance and it allows me to be really creative as well. So,
with the fonts, because I mean, they're amazing. So what kind of let's talk about inspiration, because I think what is really stands out when I look at your work is it's just super unique. Like even like the little details, like on this haunt site that I'm on, just the way the cursor is with this hand and like everything that you do is so unique. So like, where do you get this inspiration from? Because it doesn't look like anything else.
I think that's probably where it comes from, is that I see things and I go, oh, I could do that a bit differently, or this is how I would do it, and then it just doesn't exist. And that's kind of how I guess Haunts and Type Heist came about, is that they weren't there, and then that's kind of what I was looking for.
Okay. So like what and so the most recent thing is the font stuff, right? That you've been doing?
Yeah.
Okay. And how long does it typically take you, like from like, I've got this idea for a font and then I'm going to go execute on it and release it? Because it looks like you recently just launched like 2 more.
Yeah. So there's one that was maybe a couple of months ago and then one that was this week.
Okay.
Yeah. So obviously I've got my, 9 to 5 job to fit in there, but I'd say if I did a font from start to finish without, if I worked on that 9 to 5, I could finish one in a week. But because of, it's sort of spread out, it's, in between life, I don't want to push anything. I think that's why I like it so much, is that I can work on it when I want to work on it. So it might take me a couple of months because I'll work on it, when I finally get home and, cook dinner, go to the gym, do all the other things. And then I'm working on it at 11 o'clock at night. So I might have an hour in there. So it's sort of fitting in with everything else, which I like. So because of that, it might take, a couple of months, or I could get distracted by another font and then they're both working in tandem.
I mean, I've dabbled a little bit in design. I'm nowhere near like this, but fonts feel daunting to me. Like, was it a lot to kind of get yourself into one? And it's different than illustrative or product design. It's very different, right?
Yeah.
So, like, what's your
yeah.
process like with it? Like, how do you start that?
Well, it started initially. It was kind of a bit of like a happy accident.
Oh, okay.
And I never went into it going, I'm going to make fonts. I had my own handwriting, and I've always liked, different handwritings and fonts in general and anything design. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to make my own handwriting, and then looked into that, saw how I could do it, and then made that, popped it up online and on some marketplaces, and then it sort of, I'm not sure how long later, but I sold one, and I went, oh, okay. And then it started selling, and I thought, this is interesting. And then I was kind of like, maybe I'll make another one. And then that's kind of how it progressed. And then each time I make a new font, learn something different. So it was a complete learning process for me. Sorry, my cat's just scratching his scratcher in the background.
That's okay. Okay. Very cool. Very cool.
I guess the initial fonts that I started making were A to Z, uppercase, lowercase, numerals. And then now I'm doing, all of the multilingual characters, the German characters, the Spanish characters. So
wow.
I'm heading back now to add those to the first kind of fonts. So there'll be, the character set has grown a lot.
That's amazing.
Since I started.
That's amazing. So so if I go to Typeheist, are these all the fonts that you've created from the beginning? Or, I mean, obviously, was there some like kind of initial, just work that was kind of thrown away as you're learning it?
There's a few that, most of them are on there. There's a few that I'm still doing, but that don't quite fit sort of the style that I've found. And I think I've kind of, gathered it along the way. There's a couple of sans serifs that I've been creating in the background, but that's a steeper learning curve for me. And then there's a couple that I've just sort of binned that didn't work, but the majority of them are there. Yeah. Okay.
So, and then is this Haunts one? Is this newer than Typeheist, or is this more recent?
This is older. So this is sort of...
Oh, it's older.
Yeah, just before Typeheist.
Okay.
So I was kind of coming out of the really realistic drawing, and I thought this is too much, and then went into that and thought this is nice. And then every now and then I'll feel like drawing, and then do that, and then pop it up, and then go back to the fonts.
So okay, so real quick, so what so as a designer, what kind of tools and like which how do you kind of get into your work as it relates to, I mean, you do so many different types of design, but what tools are you using and things like that? Yeah,
so for the product design, the 9 to 5, that's primarily Figma. I love Figma. It's really good. It was super easy to learn. And they just keep adding to it. I just love how you go, oh, I'd really like this as a feature, and then a month later it's there. It's just so good. So that's mainly Figma, and then for Haunts, that's Illustrator and an iPad. And then for Typeheist, that is a combination of iPad, paper, and Illustrator, really. So they kind of start either on the iPad and then straight into Illustrator, or I draw them out, hand drawn, which is probably on paper,
Okay.
Take a photo, pull them in, and then work on them in Illustrator, which is probably the main way I do that.
Okay. I guess, I mean, how long have you been doing design work?
Design work itself, so I had a pretty straightforward route out of uni, where I was working as a web developer, like a casual web developer, while I was at uni, and then straight out of that got a job, full-time job, and then progressed from then. So I've kind of been a graphic designer, web developer, web designer, product designer. So just
wow. So wait, okay, hold on. So wait, you know how to code as well?
Yeah, so
Wow.
I build my sites and stuff, so I've kind of got my hand in all of the honeypots. Yeah.
Amazing. So okay, so hold on. So you're like a unicorn. You're a unicorn. So because this TypePy site, I'm on all of them, but they're all just like, super custom, really, really cool. What do you build your sites in? What are these built in?
So the TypePy one at the moment, I've got, as I think everyone does, local site sitting on my computer that I don't quite know how to make live because it's gone over my head. I've got it there. I've built it. It's in Contentful. I've learnt Vue to try and work that into it. So it's all there and it looks really good. And the live one, I'm not happy with because it's older, but I'm just at that last step where I need to push it live without breaking anything. So it's there and I'm procrastinating. So that's on Vue and that's been cool to learn. But I'm by no means like a back-end developer or anything. So that there was a whole bunch of stuff in there that I'm sitting there, at midnight Googling, like, how do you do this?
I think even the most experienced engineers are still Googling every day, but so don't feel too bad. Gosh, that's amazing. Okay, so so I know these are, it seems like you really, really like your 9 to 5, which is awesome. You kind of have that, and then you're able to kind of have a creative outlet. And I get that, right? As a creative person, sometimes we all need that. Yeah. So, because I guess what I'm asking is, what is your kind of hope for your other side projects? Just to always be a side project, or would you like one day to kind of be out on your own doing these things?
I've kind of never felt that I wanted to do that with previous ones, but the TypePy one is a little bit different in that, I can kind of see a model for that if I wanted to go that way forward and pursue that. So, that's been the one where I've been like, I could actually do this full time at some point, but I guess whether I want to do that or not, because I do like the product design element of it, and I like being in an office with other people and learning from them and, having a different product that you're working on and improving. Right. So I do still really like that. And I don't know if I'd be quite ready to sort of, even if it was making a ton of money, I'm not sure whether that would be what I'd want to do full time. I don't know. I can't speak for that until it would happen. But I do like having both. It's a nice balance.
Right. So you said, so do you go in the office now?
Yeah. So
You do?
Yeah, we've been week at home and week at work, which has been really nice.
Oh, cool. That's nice. Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah.
And obviously, so what city are you in Australia?
On the Sunshine Coast. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, southeast Queensland.
Oh, okay. And born and raised?
No, so I'm born in North Queensland.
Okay.
Yeah, which is a bit different. Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you like being where you are now?
It is really nice here, and it's where a lot of people would want to be. But I guess, at the moment, you've asked at a funny time, because I've been thinking about like Melbourne. So I love the city, and I've been visiting a bit lately, and I just love it there. It's just really busy and there's so much to do, and it's really arty and cultural. And I don't know whether that's maybe something that I want to do, but I'm not sure. Okay, I'm happy here, but yeah.
Is the town is Sunshine Coast? It's like beachy and a little bit more slowed down and
so I don't use it. I don't use it the way that people should be using it. Whereas I go into a city and I'm like, I love it here.
you want the energy and fast moves.
Whereas it was funny because when all this COVID stuff happened, everyone was moving from Melbourne to the Sunshine Coast. And so when I kind of mention it now, they're like, you're going the wrong way. I know.
Oh, that's funny. Cool. Well, gosh. So what is your day look like then? So would you wake up earlier in the morning and kind of get going with
No.
your side projects, or is it just kind of like whatever you have time for?
Yeah, basically whatever I have time for. So I'm not a morning person. I'm definitely a late night person. Like last night was probably about a 1:30 a.m.
Oh, well, thanks for being up.
That's
to talk.
okay. I feel good, surprisingly.
Good.
So yeah, I'm definitely just wake up the latest that I possibly can, go to work, and then do that, come home, do whatever I need to do, and then fit in kind of my side projects late at night, and that's when I like doing it. So anytime from like 7 till 10 is a really good time for me. Yeah.
Very cool.
And,
I think that's funny. Like some people are morning and sometimes people are, night owls. So
and I always wondered whether I could change it. And I read a book recently that pretty much said that you can't. Like you can force it, but you're always going to feel crap.
What book was that?
Oh, I don't know. You're going to ask that. It was a sleep book. I think it's called Why We Sleep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you a bookworm? Do you like to read a lot of books?
Yeah, I read a lot of books. But I read to learn. So they're all, boring if you're like a fiction reader.
That's how I am too.
Yeah, I just can't keep my head in a fiction book. It's hard.
I can't either. This doesn't give me any
I feel
value.
like I'm not learning anything from it.
Yeah, I'm wasting this time.
Yeah, exactly. So they're all sort of psychology books or, product design books or, things along those lines. I really enjoy them.
Do you read the psychology books to kind of for your own benefit of like your life, or is it more around to understand how people think as it relates to design, to kind of influence design?
Yeah, both. So there's a good crossover there. So initially, the psychology stuff was just purely for me because I'm just super interested in all that and human behavior and everything. Yeah. And then with when UX kind of started coming about, in 10 years ago. I was like, oh, hold on, there's a pretty big crossover here. And then now there's a lot of UX psychology specific books, which are really cool. And then, very specific to my role. So that helps a lot.
Cool. Okay. So I actually have some questions for you, like kind of like advice, I guess. Mm-hmm. So I guess thinking about someone that kind of wants to maybe get into some of the stuff you're doing with font design or illustrative design, that's been a product designer, what sort of tips would you give them?
If they wanted to get into font design, I would definitely say Google. I can't even remember how I sort of learnt that. I don't even remember the process. I just remember making my own handwriting, and then I just must have Googled it and gone, this is how you do it. This is the extension. This is the program you need, and then went on that way. So I learned by kind of reading and then doing. And
you seem like just very assertive. Like when you want to get something done, like you just go and get it done. Nothing's going to be nothing's in your way.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So with my work, I'm like, if this is it, put it on the checklist, I'm going to do it. I will procrastinate a lot about certain things for whatever reason, but it's pretty much like, I'm going to get this font done, going to do it this weekend. And then, if something does come up and I don't get it done, I'm like, do it next weekend, but that's the goal.
So what are you drawn to right now at the moment in terms of, because you do so many different types of design? Is it product design your favorite at the moment? Is that what you'd rather be spending your time on?
It kind of depends, whether I'm at home at work. So being at work, product design, definitely. And then I think the font design really works at home because I have the freedom to do kind of what I want and how I want it. And I've just got a little backlog of, I'll take screenshots of different fonts that I've seen around, and then put them in a little notes document and go, this is the direction I want to go, or this is the direction I want to go. And usually I'll have 3 or 4 lined up in my head, and then I'll go, I feel like doing a messy script this time, or I feel like doing something cuter, or and then continue on with that.
Cool. So I talked to you a little bit about inspiration, but where does it all come from for all these things? Is it, and then is there like people, like certain founders or certain designers that you follow, or is there companies that really, who sticks out to you that kind of inspires you?
Oh, it's kind of, there's no one in particular that I'd be like, yep, this is my hero, I need to be this person, or I really like their stuff. There's definitely foundries that I like, that I come across that release stuff that's really cool, and they might not necessarily be anything in terms of similar fonts, like they could all be, really proper sans serif fonts, but maybe they'll promote stuff really nice, or maybe their website's really cool. So I think there's a company called Pangram I think, and their website's really cool. So their fonts are very different to mine, but the site's really cool. I follow a lot of people on Instagram, so I'll screenshot little bits and pieces. It won't necessarily have to be even fonts. It'll be mock-ups or photos or posters or something, and I'll just see a little tiny snippet of that. There's a burger company here called Grilled. I don't think you have it in the States, but I was just looking at their menu one day and they got this little handwriting that was like yum or something. So I was like,
just clicked.
Take a photo of that, and then put that in the file.
Okay.
And then I've got the the Muesli extension, so every day there's just websites and inspiration in there. I click on that, have a little look, and then something will stick and I'll screenshot it.
Very cool. I think it's interesting how everyone draws their inspiration from different things. So I'm always curious to kind of hear where people get it from. So give me your favorite book.
Oh my Lord. I have the world's worst memory, so it's just not going to come to me.
A recent book that you've enjoyed.
Recent book. What have I read? I'm going to have to pull out my my Goodreads, because it's just not existing in my head.
Do you read books, or do you listen to podcasts?
I do both. For books, I'm a reader, not a
listener.
Audiobook, listener. But then I do also listen to podcasts, and then also that comes in waves. So I'll go through one when I get really into podcasts and don't ever listen to music, or I'll just be solely listening to music. But I'm just looking now. So the last book I read was 100 Things Every Designer Needs to Know About People. And it's a kind of psychology based book where it just goes through, So it goes through what people look at when they're on the page. It says that you've basically got 3 seconds when you open a website to capture their attention. Otherwise, they pretty much just close the tab. Things you can put next to each other to make people feel a certain way. All little, just like, little tidbits.
That's cool. Does it have anything in there around the thing that I find most fascinating with psychology and design is all around pricing and how you can influence pricing? Is there stuff in there about that?
I'm not sure if it was in that specific book. It might have been, because I've read it over the span of a couple of months. But I do remember seeing something in one of the books where they said if you're showing a price and say it's $18, if you put something in the background or somewhere on the page that's like 7,000 people like this, they'll see your prices less because they're seeing a bigger number next to it. Wow. So it's just little subtle things like that. And then there's another book that I really want to read that sort of says how you can not do that. So not manipulate your customers.
Right.
Because they went down this route of how you can do this, how you can get things to sell. And now there's another route where it's gone a bit too far. And then there's these like dark patterns that people are using, which is not so great. So that's where I want to go next, is read that one where it says how you can use it for good and not evil.
It's hard though. Like we even do, like even with what we work on, we talk about it all the time, like trying to make sure that we're, you got to find that balance. Yeah. It's tough.
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay. So if you weren't doing what you're doing today, which is pretty much all facets of design.
So just
What would you be
design.
doing? Like, would you still, like, if you started somewhere, work somewhere, like, would you do something offline? Like, you know, would you do something just wholesale different, or what, like, if you had?
Yeah, if I wasn't, I remember in year 12, when they were kind of like, what do you want to do at uni? And everyone went, I have no idea. So that was a pretty, it kind of felt like it came out of nowhere, and everyone was just like, I don't know. But the three things were graphic design, interior design, and criminal psychology. So I'm going to say criminal psychology. I think I would absolutely love that.
So do you listen to those like serial podcasts?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's like the most popular genre, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Haven't in a while. Loves them.
Yeah, haven't in a long time. But yeah, I do listen to them every now and then if there's a good one out. I think the last one was probably Serial. I listened to it really late.
Serial, yeah. The very first season of Serial was really good.
Yeah.
That podcast, when it first came out, that was so good. That was years ago.
Just get addicted. Yeah, it was so long ago.
Yeah. So do you currently take on any freelance work, or do you have time for that?
I did, and then I kind of tried to pull it back a bit, because it was taking a lot of my time, and I had maybe 5 or 6 clients on top of my job, and then I was also drawing, and then I was like, this is too much, I'm not enjoying it anymore. So at the moment, I'm not, and it's been nice.
If you did take on work, what would it be? Is there a certain type of work that you'd want to take on?
I mean, just in terms of any work, I've kind of thought, what would get me out of my current role, not that I want to leave, but and then I thought maybe like a fintech or gaming, although I have heard it's a bit hectic, but that's something that I'm interested in, so that would be really cool to work on a game, the game UI.
Well, you have like, what's interesting about your skill set with design is it almost feels like you could, you've got such a unique design skill. Like, I feel like in a game you could translate that stuff pretty well. Like, even when I look at the haunt stuff, I could see some of this stuff just like literally being in a game. So
that'd be cool.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So. I saw a job a while ago. I was years and years ago come up for like magic cards, and then at the time I was working at a place where everyone was really into magic cards, and then I got into that, and then it was like for a senior product designer, working on their sort of game UI for their magic card game, and they're like, I must know how to play. I was like, this is very specific. But I was like, this could work.
Okay, last question, then I'll let you go. If you were just starting out today, after everything you kind of know, or maybe there's an aspiring designer that wants to kind of get into the space, what's like one tip you'd give them or yourself?
Definitely do something that you're passionate about, because I've had a lot of people say, I want to make a startup, or I want to do something, I want to make money, and I just think that's, unless you're a business person, I just think that's probably one of the worst ways to do it, because at the whole time you're thinking about, how does this make money, and how can I make a profit out of this, and all your choices are purely based on numbers. And I think in the design area, it just doesn't work. Like, you've got to have something that you like, and then every time you're putting something out, it's something you like. So you could be making something that you think other people want, and it's out there, and you don't like it and they don't like it, whereas at least if you're putting stuff out there that you like, then you like it, and then you're always making something that you know how to make. And I think that one's that's been where I've kind of seen the most success for me, is it's stuff that I'm really into, and then it just goes from there, because you're making all your own choices based on what you like.
I can see it, because again, like I said earlier in the very beginning, is like your stuff is so unique, and it's because you're making the stuff that you like, and like you said, naturally the money and stuff will just follow.
And then it's just sort of it's just a nice to have, really. So, right. Because I can open these fonts and go, oh, this is cool. I remember this, and I did this a few months ago. I still like this.
Yeah.
Or I can go,
Yeah.
that needs a bit of an update, or it's all there for me to change.
Well, cool. I'm really excited I got to talk to you. I know it was hard to make the time zones work, and
This has worked well, I think. Yeah.
yeah. Like, we're big fans, and we wish you the best. And
Thank you.
yeah, and so we'll definitely you have to tell us if you launch something new again, like a new project, because we just love your stuff.
Thank you.
We wish you the best.
I'm a fan too. I really like what you guys are doing.
Yeah. No, it's been fun. We're trying to make it easy peasy. So
yes, it's been nice. I'm obviously a design fan, and I really like how it looks. And I log in. I'm like, this is nice.
yeah. Thanks for being a part of what we're doing too. That's awesome.
Yeah, no problem.
So, okay, well, best of luck, and thanks for coming on.
Okay, all right.